Hi ladies, you should have gone through your practice test by now. So these are the solutions. Make sure you go through and correct it. Anything you still don't understand, please make sure you ask for help. This practice test is shorter than your actual test, so you can see it's only for 30 minutes and only out of 32 marks. So your actual test goes for one period and is out of 50 marks. Okay, so it's a little bit longer. For your test, you are not allowed to use your bound reference and you are not allowed to use a calculator. So I suggest you really take your time. Make sure you're confident if you have to do any multiplication or whatever with numbers that are maybe too large to add in your head. Just do some working out. Don't be afraid to take your time. It says here, show all working out to gain full marks. So you can see here we've got mark allocation, 1 mark. Some questions are worth 2 marks. It's always worth showing you're working out, because even if you got your answer wrong, if there's working there that is actually correct, you will receive partial marks. Okay, so that's what that means. Question 1, highest common factor of 6 and 15. So remember, factors are numbers that are smaller than the actual numbers. So 6 and 15, you can actually write them out if you like, but we just need to look at the factors of 6, okay, because we don't need to write out 15 as well. So the factors of 6 are 1, 6, okay, so that's your factor pair, and 2 and 3. So out of those numbers, which go into 15? Well, 1 does, because 1 goes into everything, and so does 3. So in this case, 3 is your highest common factor because it goes into both 15 and to 6. Question B, what is the lowest common multiple of 6 and 2? So remember, a multiple is you're getting bigger, you're multiplying it by a number. So let's do some multiples of 6. You don't need to do too many. And you might actually see that when you do it, you're going to get the same multiple anyway. So there's sum of 6 and there's sum of 4. The lowest common multiple, okay, so they don't have 6 in common or 4. They don't have 8 in common, but they have 12 in common. So that's the lowest one that they have. Okay, so remember, multiples always start with the number and then follow on in a pattern. So in this case, 12 is the lowest common multiple. All right, 2A. For the following number sequence, write the operation to be completed first. So remember, whatever is in brackets is done first. So we've got to do that 4 plus 3 and put in brackets if you like. Okay, so that must be done first. Evaluate the following expression. Okay, so here we have 10 minus 7. So we do the brackets first. Okay, so remember, we always do the hugs first, the brackets first. 10 minus 7 is 3. 3 times 3 gives you 9. All right, we can fit C in as well. Solve this equation by filling in the blank squares with the correct numbers. So 4 minus 2 is 2, which is already written here. And then 5 plus 3 is 8. Put the 8 here. Okay, and then 2 times 8 gives you 16. All right. Moving on now to question 3. Just scroll up as much as I can. Okay, what is the largest factor of 28? Okay, so remember, 28 is actually a factor of itself. So the largest common factor is 28. There was a question like that on your pre-test. I think there was one like that. Some of you got wrong. Okay, so the factors of 28, you can have 1 and 28, so obviously 28 would be the highest factor. Write the following in index form. Okay, so we always write our bases in ascending order. You won't get it wrong if you wrote 3 first. So how many 2's do we have? We've got 1, 2. So we've got 2 squared times the other base is 3. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So 3 cubed. And we just have to write it in index form, so you don't have to go ahead and then write the answer. 2 squared times 3 cubed is enough. All right, question 4, list the complete set of factors of 80. So the easiest way to do that is to go, oops, that's a big one, go and do their factor pair. So 1 and 80 is a factor pair. 2 and 40 is a factor pair. All right, the number 3. 3 doesn't go in 80. The quickest way to remember that is to go probably to the nearest tens. So you can do 90 or 60 and then think, well, then I can go on multiples of 3. 4 does go into 80 20 times, so 4 and 20 are multiples. 5 goes into 80, so 5 times 16. All right, 6 does not, 7 does not, 8 does, so we have 8 and 10. 11 doesn't, 12 doesn't, 13 doesn't, 14, it's in my memory, doesn't. 15 doesn't, 16 does, I think, 16 times. Oh, there we go, already got 16. Okay, so we've got as many as we can get. Write down the first 6 multiples of 15. Okay, so, I would say we can start with 15. If you started with 15 or 30, it doesn't matter. 15, 30. Oops, I'm going up in 5s. Let's just delete that and clear that out of the way. Come on. That should be 45. Then what have we got? 60. And 1, 2, 3. Oops. It's a terrible 75. All right, and 90. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you started at 30, then we'll have 105. All right, find the highest common factor of 25 and 15. Okay, so remember factors have to be smaller. And think of factors of 15. 15 doesn't go into 25, so the next highest is 5. Does 5 go into 25? Yes, it does. So 5 is the highest common factor. Lowest common multiple. Okay, so does 16 go into 32? Yes, it does. So 16 is your lowest common multiple. Goes into both numbers. That's nice and easy, wasn't it? Okay, let's keep scrolling. Question. Oh, don't go too far. There we go. We'll just leave it like that. All right, question 5. Evaluate the following BODMAS questions. So remember, we hug the division first. So let's do that first. Okay, even though we've got this multiplication here, and you might want to do that at the same time, we're just going to do this bit now. We'll do one hug at a time. We've only got one set of arms to hug with. Okay, 63 divided by 7 is 9, plus 4 times 5. Right, then let's do this hug. Let's hug the 4 and the 5. So we've got 70. You can do the 70 minus 9 now if you want to. 4 times 5 is 20. Okay, 7. I haven't left much room there, but I wasn't planning on writing so big. So 70 minus 9 is 61 plus 20. And then the answer is 81. If you get a bit of working out, just put a square around your answer. It's a good habit to get into when you go into VCE. Okay, 3 times, oh, we've got a bracket here, and then we've got another bracket. Okay, so we do the middle bracket first. We do this hug first. So we have 3 times, you can actually do the 30 divided by 2 now, but we'll just leave that for now. So 5 minus 1 is 4. 3 times 30 divided by 2 is 15 minus 4. And then we have 3 times 15 minus 4 is 11. And 3 times 11 is 33. Okay, question 6. The square root of 100 is 10. Square root of 64 is 8. So your answer is 10 minus 8 is 2. All right, B, the square root of 2,500. The easiest way to do this is to split it up into 2 separate numbers that are perfect squares. So this one can become 25 times 100. Okay, so then we've got the square root of 5, oops, thinking ahead, times the square root of 100. And that gives you 5 times 10, which gives you 50. Okay, so a little bit harder than straightforward, and you probably don't know your 50s, but if you can work backwards, you can think of, well, what could the answer be? You can see the 25 there, that maybe a 5 would be involved, and test what 50 times 50 is. And I know when we did this high one in class, a lot of you did it that way, but you can also just split them up into perfect squares, which is another way of doing it. Okay, let's move on to C, which we can't really see very well. Okay. So 2 cubed is 2 times 2 times 2. Then 4 squared is just 2 times 4. 4 times 4. And then 2 squared is 2 times 2. Okay, so let's do, okay, so we've got a bracket here, but we can do these multiplications first. We don't have to do this division part. As a matter of fact, we should really treat these ones as separate numbers anyway, because they're the power. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 again gives you 8. 4 times 4 is 16, then we've got the division, and 2 times 2 is 4. So then we have 8 plus 4, which gives you 12. Nice. Okay, question 7, create a factor tree for the following numbers. Okay, so you don't, and then you got to write in index notation. So 63, I can think of 7 and 9. 7 is a prime factor, so it's up to you how you do it, but I'm going to circle once we're done. 9 can be 3 and 3, and they're prime numbers too. So 63 is equal to, and try to write them in ascending order, 3 squared times 7. It's going to be messy, isn't it? 115. Well, that's a big number, but I know 5 goes into it because there's a 5 in the units, but how many times does 5 go in there? So 5 goes into 120 times. Okay, so think, how many 20-cent coins make up a dollar? 5. And then we've got 15 left over, so it's going to be, 23. Sorry, I was a little bit confused. All right, 23 times, is that it? 23 times 5. Because 23 and 5 are both prime numbers. Okay, question 8. What is the next prime number after 47? Okay, so this requires you to know your prime numbers. Remember, even numbers cannot be primes except for 2. So 48 is not a prime. What about 49? Now, if you know your squares, 7 times 7 is 49. 50 is an even number. 51, tricky. 13 actually goes into 51. 52 is an even number. 53 is your next prime number. Okay, so just knowing your prime, some of the sneaky ones, especially when you get into the higher numbers, can be quite tricky. Okay, let's clear that. I think we've only got one more question, all right? Yeah. Okay, question 9. Insert a pair of brackets to make the following mathematical statement true. Okay, so we've got 2 times 12 minus 6 divided by 2 plus 10 equals 16. So we got to put in brackets to make this equal 16. All right, and it's quite a long one. So what if we did the BODMAS as it is? We get 24 minus 3 plus 10 does not equal 16. Okay, so we need to put brackets in somewhere. How about we try this? All right, so let's do brackets here. Didn't really put them in too well. Okay, so trying that out, 12 minus 6 is 6. So we're going to have 2 times 6 divided by 2 plus 10. Whoops, got the 1. That is 2 times 6 is 12. 12 divided by, write it out, 12 divided by 2 plus 10. Then we have 6 plus 10, which is 16. And if you like, you can give yourself a smile. All right, so if there's anything on that test that you didn't understand, please make sure you ask for help before your test. Your test on Thursday is obviously longer, okay, but these are the basics that you need to know. Okay, so there will be easier questions on the test and there will be some harder questions on the test. Okay, good luck, bye-bye.